Jurgen Klinsmann has said Daniel Levy has contacted him over the vacant managerial role at Spurs in a very surprising revelation on ESPN tonight. We know Jurgen Klinsmann had suggested himself and put himself forward for the job in recent weeks, but he has now revealed that Daniel Levy a few weeks ago did reach out and contact him, kind of testing the waters on any potential managerial appointment. Now, before we do dive into that, if you are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more breaking news updates on Tottenham's pursuit of a manager and the Tottenham Hotspur Transfer Talk series coming back in full flight this summer. Please excuse it, Atletico Madrid jersey. I was planning on having a day off today, and I very, very nearly got that, but just after midnight, Jurgen Klinsmann decided to drop this bombshell as Tottenham continue their pursuit of a manager after a very disappointing week in which we missed out on what seemed to be our two main targets in Mauricio Pochettino and Antonio Conte. And the biggest concern right now for Spurs fans is that we do end up with the manager that we don't want, or the manager that we haven't yet been linked to. And Jurgen Klinsmann has now dropped this bombshell in a comment that kind of scares me, that Spurs could now go in for Klinsmann given our main targets have been missed. And Klinsmann, again, he was on ESPN, and he had to say basically about Daniel Levy contacting him, and the direct quote is, when they let go of Mourinho, Daniel Levy called Jurgen Klinsmann and he said, "Let's see down the road what happens. We have a few things to figure out." And Klinsmann said since then he hasn't had any contact from Daniel Levy. And look, he spoke about how he would like to join Spurs. Any manager would be interested in joining Spurs, and he said it would mean even more to him as a former Spurs player. But he said that Spurs have contacted him. Let's say shout out to the Spurs Web on Twitter, and the Spurs Web on Twitter who posted this, and Bobby as well, Bob Spurs TV, who I see there in the live chat. I'm just reading a few more things here on Twitter. Random account, Spurs Savage, Trevor Sutherlock, Jack Konecki as well in here. All the familiar faces, good to see it. Jack says, great, we're going for the first manager of all time. Spurs Savage said, no, I just watched the interview. He said that he had a live chat regarding the situation. Nothing like that. So what I gathered from the chat is, look, he did have that call, but he said, let's see what things are like further down the line. We have a few things to clarify. I'm now thinking, because Spurs have missed out on their main targets, and we missed out on the people that we wanted, and with Ten Hag, that contract extension at Ajax, and the way he's committed his future to the club, are we now able to go back in and try and make a move for him, or has he said too much and now we can't leave Ajax? We know PSG, they'll be holding on to Mauricio Pochettino. Nasser Al-Khelaifi came out again today and basically said, well, we knew that he wasn't leaving, and we know Pochettino was absolutely influential in PSG's signing, or imminent signing, of Gini Wijnaldum. Of course, Antonio Conte deal looks dead in the water now. There has been reports today from Corriere dello Sport that Antonio Conte is still mulling over the offer from Spurs, and that isn't completely over just yet. But I wouldn't believe that too much. I am seeking clarification on that, but as it stands, I do think the Antonio Conte deal is completely off. Bobby says, and you mentioned on my stream, there may be a manager who's not in the running might end up getting it. And look, here we are 20 minutes later, Bobby, and Jurgen Klinsmann is being thrown around. And look, I wouldn't say he's exactly one that hasn't been linked, but he's one whose links weren't taken seriously, because he just didn't seem like a very viable option for that. And look, as Aglaya says there, love Klinsmann, Matt. He's a born winner and has a personality and football knowledge to succeed. Nathan Walker saying he's good experience. Sources TV Ghana saying Klinsmann is good. And look, he, of course, does have managerial experience, and he is a Spurs legend. I was never lucky enough. I wasn't alive to watch Jurgen Klinsmann in the height of his career at Spurs. He is undoubtedly was a very talented footballer. He's managed Germany from 2004 to 2006. He was at Bayern Munich for a year. Managed the United States from 2011 to 2016, and most recently has been at Hertha Berlin in Germany as well. So he does have that experience, but he's not the caliber of manager, and he's not the type of manager that Spurs need to go for. I mean, you talk about us wanting an attacking, free flowing manager, somebody who plays good football, invests in youth, all this and all that. But at the end of the day, I could not tell you what sort of philosophies Klinsmann has. I simply cannot tell you what type of manager he is, what type of football he'd bring in, what type of, what his recruitment is like. Does he like bringing in young players for the future? Does he like bringing in established, experienced players for the now? It's a big question, and look, I don't think this is entirely something to be concerned about when you look at Fabio Paratici coming in. I see John there saying he might be okay with the director of football helping him. With Fabio Paratici now taking kind of control of this managerial search, I can't see him going for Jurgen Klinsmann. I do think we at the moment are most likely going to end up with an Italian manager or a manager who has worked in Italy. I do think maybe this could be something Daniel Levy could be pushing for, or it could simply be a safety net if we don't get a manager. It's just on Bob's Fair TV with Bobby and a fantastic panel there, and we were talking about, is this deal done before the Euros? Could this be Daniel Levy's final option, his safety net, if the deal isn't done before the Euros, if the deal isn't done in time? We'll go back to Jurgen Klinsmann. He'll take the job. He'll be accepting to all these concessions of, well, maybe Kane will be leaving. You're not getting much in the transfer window. You're going to do as I say. You're going to be another yes man like Ryan Mason. Klinsmann could potentially fall into a lot of categories for Daniel Levy, but whether or not he is in charge of this this managerial search at the moment, with Paratici in charge, I'm not sure Klinsmann would be high up on that list of priorities for Spurs. But it is getting deeply concerning as we come into the week building up to the Euros. Only 5 days now until Turkey kick off the competition against Italy, or since we've switched over into Monday, it is 4 days to go now. Bobster says sorry, but he just gives me let's give him a try. Where's that list kind of feeling, and that's it. Like, this doesn't seem like a managerial appointment that would have come down to Daniel Levy, Fabio Paratici, Steve Hitchens sitting around a table with whatever board members are there involved in this decision making and deciding, okay, the best manager we can go for is Jurgen Klinsmann. This is not a decision that has been made. This is not something that anybody at the club will actively want to happen. It is a safety net. You get it exactly from the words that Jurgen Klinsmann said. I had contact from Levy. He said, let's see what happens. Let's figure a few things out, and then maybe further down the line something can happen. We've got Jenk there in the live chat. Says 141 watching. Let's get this video to 100 likes. Please do hit that like button if you are enjoying this video, if you're enjoying the stream, if you're enjoying the update. Big shout out to Jenk who made me aware of this story first, along with Bobby from Bob's Fair TV. But yeah, look, a concerning update nonetheless. As Eamon says there, Alistair Gold said Paratici has the final say on who gets the job, and that could be a bit of a save in this one. But Daniel Levy, when he renounces possession to people, he doesn't always keep it that way. Just taking a quick look at the current betting odds on the next manager, both Boyle Sports and William Hill, the official betting partner of Spurs, have cancelled all markets on Tottenham's next manager. Whether that's them just giving up on any bit of sense coming out of Tottenham's pursuit, I don't know. What I will say on William Hill is the 3 times I've seen them cancel markets on this so far, them being the official betting partners of Spurs, there has been some big news in the 12 to 24 hours that follow. I think Pochettino, maybe that'll happen. When we got the first news about the contact between Spurs and the club, William Hill had suspended their markets. Just before the Conte news broke, we had the same, and then just before the Conte news, we heard it was dead in the water. The same thing happened, which, look, may just be coincidence, maybe me looking into it a bit too much. But with William Hill being the official betting partner of the club, there could be something to that. So keep an eye out in the next 12 or so hours as we move into Monday morning. Any news on this manager? I think that the timing is interesting from Jurgen Klinsmann as well, saying this now as the Conte and Pochettino stuff fell through. Move on the quiet, don't say nothing, says Matt. You listen to too much media malarkey. This is coming directly from Jurgen Klinsmann's mouth. People always say let's wait until we hear from the man himself. We've heard from the man himself. Klinsmann saying that he was contacted by Daniel Levy. The Irish Hotspur David, good to see you in here, says he said they contacted him as soon as Jose got sacked. Just to reiterate what Jurgen Klinsmann said, he said after Spurs let Mourinho go, he got a phone call from Daniel Levy, essentially just testing the water, saying, let's see what happens. We have a few things to clarify. Let's see what happens further down the line. And again, to me, that kind of feels like if we don't get our target, if we're in dire straits as we're trying to get this deal done way further down the line, maybe we'll come to you as a bit of a safety net. That's my fear, and that's what I'm gathering from this. Dermot Moyles, channel member, good to see you in the live chat. Terry there as well, as I said a minute ago, Fabrizio Romano says Pochettino called Wijnaldum and that he's staying at PSG. The same PSG that said Poch never asked to leave. They're liars. Pochettino will be in charge next season. Are you in charge of Spurs, Terry? Is that what you're saying? Theo Shilton says it's officially a circus. AJ Mandeville with a good question says, do you think Levy is giving the manager decision to Paratici so he doesn't get the blame? That's possible. It's a Daniel Levy tactic. And I have got some information in the last couple of hours about kind of a bit more on Pochettino and where that happened. Look, Spurs poked Pochettino. I don't think anyone is debating that. But of course, PSG not willing to let him go. We've heard from Nasser Al Khelaifi numerous times, and as well from the French media and Fabrizio Romano, that PSG are not willing to let him go. So a board member called Mauricio Pochettino, just finding out about whether Pochettino was happy in Paris, because it very much seemed as though he wasn't. But PSG got wind of it, and that's when they kind of started putting out their own narrative and their own spin on it in the media, which is, essentially the truth, that they were unwilling to let him go. And that's when Spurs moved for Fabio Paratici. So, we're hearing from Alistair Gold, the Spurs players and staff are unhappy at how Steve Hitchen has been treated and all this, but it was actually bringing Paratici in was kind of to further the efforts that Steve Hitchen had initiated in terms of getting Pochettino into the club. So Paratici was brought in to try and convince Pochettino to come over, because you're looking at Poch's current situation in PSG when he doesn't get on with their sporting director Leonardo. So Paratici initially brought in to try and convince Mauricio Pochettino that this was the place for him, and then when that kind of fell through, Paratici suggested Antonio Conte, which again we knew in the last couple of days it was Paratici who put Conte forward for the job. Guys, make sure to smash that like button, see if we can get to 50 likes. We're currently on 42 with 209 watching. Please do hit that like button if you are enjoying it. Bradley says Klinsmann the right man for the job. Matt, in your opinion? For me, he's not, Bradley. And look, I wouldn't have taken him from the get-go, but like I've been saying the last couple of days, whatever appointment we get right now, it is going to be more disappointing than it would have been a couple of weeks ago, because we've since essentially been promised one of Antonio Conte or Mauricio Pochettino. And you can say, yes, that's from the media, but at the end of the day, it's Spurs who are feeding that information to the media. So I think we were promised one of those. Whatever appointment it is, even if it's Erik ten Hag, there will be that element of disappointment with whatever the appointment is. Now, I've heard that Spurs are going to be pushing for Erik ten Hag in the next couple of days or next couple of weeks. Whether or not that's going to be possible to get him in is a big concern. They do have their concerns and doubts about more managers turning them down, but it does look as though Erik ten Hag is top of Spurs' list of priorities right now. As the betting odds suggest, the current favourite to be the next Spurs manager, with Paddy Power and Betfair. Sky's Bet currently have him in second at 3-1 behind Pochettino, who remains 2-1 with Sky Bet. Govan with a £2 super chat, thank you very much for that. Says Klinsmann, no please God, no please no. But the Michael Scott coming through there. Govan, thank you for the super chat. And look, I do agree with you. I think I'd rather steer away from that appointment, but just thought I'd bring you a quick update tonight. We're not going to stick around for too long. Over 220 people watching after 12 minutes at 12:30 at midnight. That is crazy numbers, and I really do appreciate it. So thank you to all of you who have tuned in. As the numbers shoot up again, just to reiterate that story very quickly, Jurgen Klinsmann saying that after Spurs sacked Jose Mourinho, Daniel Levy called him to test the waters on a potential move to Spurs if things weren't sorted out further down the line. Or further down the line, things haven't been sorted out. Could Jurgen Klinsmann be back in the fray for the Spurs job? Well, you'll find out first here at Matt Hayes Tottenham Blog. So do make sure to hit that subscribe button and put on the notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload or go live. It's going to be a very interesting week for Spurs, and I hope you'll join me on the journey, which is certainly going to be an eventful one. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Again, there's been 700 people this late at night. It's crazy for a 12-minute stream. Hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff, and as always, thanks for watching.